Hi guys, I'm Dom, and the person I've chosen to do my commemorative speech is Martin Luther King Jr. When doing this speech assignment last week, it reminded me about all the great things he did in his lifetime as I was watching the I Have a Dream speech. You know, it made me want to take time and acknowledge some of his achievements. You know, You Should All Care has his impact on society has probably changed all of our lives for the better. It's crazy to think how less than 100 years ago things were so divided. And, this one bold, brave man stood up for his community and made change nobody thought was possible at the time. This topic matters to me because in high school my best friend was Asian and he was picked on sometimes. And although this is still baffling to me how this behaviour exists today, at the end of the day, Martin Luther King had such a positive change on society, and it's so much better today than it was in the past. It just makes me appreciate everything that he did. He dedicated his life to making a positive change for society, and he never gave up, and he should serve as a role model for everyone. So, a bit about Martin Luther King. He was born January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was a promising prospect for the African American community from his early teens. He was a very smart man. He was accepted into college at the age of 15 after passing some entrance exams. And during 1946, during his time in college, he got a letter published supporting minority rights. He studied sociology, graduating from college with a bachelor degree in 1948. He stayed in education until 1955, though, when he earned his doctorate from Boston University. At these times, being an African American was hard enough, but being a student was even more difficult. And Martin Luther King prevailed, and he overcame it, and he was a successful man. So after his educational career, he then went into his speeches, and he instantly began inspiring the nation. His first major speech was delivered in 1957, and it was titled "Give Us the Ballot." It was delivered at Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This was in front of 25,000 activists, and this outlined a strategy for justice, which would be followed through the 60s. And this speech was the base mark for him and the start of his legacy, which we all know today. His second speech was his most famous one, arguably, as we all know. It's "I Have a Dream." This speech is still known today and could be considered as one of the most powerful speeches known. His charisma and connection to the people, he really made a connection, and he inspired a nation here into positive change. Another great reason as to why he was such a great role model was because of his attitude and his belief that the good will always prevail in the end. He kept pushing and fighting for what he believed in no matter what, and he went through a lot of struggles in his life. He was stabbed with a 7-inch blade in 1958. He was arrested over 5 times, sentenced to hard labour, and this was all because of the colour of his skin. Not because he did anything wrong, he wasn't a criminal. Negativity surrounded this man, but he battled through and managed to overpower this with all his optimism and positivity. And he kept true to his cause. He never turned to violence. He always remained pacifist. He never wanted any of his followers to break out. He stuck to his cause. He worked hard throughout all his life. King could have had a peaceful life for him and his family, and he could have been comfortable. He earned his doctorate. He could have had a good job. But this wasn't enough for this man. He wanted the same for all of his African American community. He kept fighting till his death to strive for better and more for his community. And this was proven when in 1968 he led 6,000 protesters supporting sanitation workers. King lived a very accomplished and successful life. He did what no man at this time in society thought was possible, and he inspired a generation. His legacy will live on no matter what. No matter who you are, you will know who Martin Luther King Jr. is. And I would just say, for any of you that are doubting if you're ever able to do something, go look at his life. Look at everything he managed to overcome and fight through. His story should inspire you and fill you with confidence that you can do anything that you put your mind to. He dedicated his life to making positive change, and you can do the same. And it all just starts from believing in yourself. Thanks for listening.